my name is Patrick. Thank you for having me here. So I'm the CEO of Kitchen Haus Group. Today I'm very honored to be here. I think I need to thank Edison at the back. I think Yen, I don't see her yet. Also Jay, Yen, sorry. Yeah, Yen, as well as Jay for having me here. It has been an honor. I'm also very humbled to be able to be invited here to speak to everyone. I understand there's around 90 over students online. Of course, it's very good to see a physical class so we can interact. First, I'm Patrick again. I'm a second-gen owner of the company, Kitchen Haus Group. We started as a very little-known company in 2007. It was started by my parents. So it was just one company called Team Catering. I'll explain a bit later. Then we have taken the F&B industry by storm. So in the last, just being blocked. I'm the founder for 7 brands. Alright, so I'm the winner of the 2019 SOE award, and of course I'm currently the vice president for ACAPS. ACAPS, as you all know, probably you won't know, is a catering professional, Association of Catering Professionals Singapore. So I'm the vice president of ACAPS. So what happens at Kitchen Haus Group, we have changed the perception of traditional brick and mortar business. Understand that currently if you do F&B, right, it's very brick and mortar, you set up a shop, right, then you build a business. But through the pandemic, we found that we have to digitalize. So hence, we went through a very big pivoting action through innovation, of course, through digital technology. And we embrace and pivot the business towards the new norm. And while important thing for business is to maintain profitable. All right? And of course, there's a potential for future growth. All right, so I'm being featured in several of the media, including CNA, Channel 8, Smart Local, Straits Times, and Lena Zapa. And I'm very humbled to be affiliated with ERCI, amongst other associations like ACAPS, RAS. Okay, so this is some of the career milestone, which where I founded my first company, the Rainbow Catering, in 2016. That's my first company that I founded. So we broke even in less than 2 years. I went to establish new revenue records in the span of 4 to 5 years. Right. So I'm also named as one of the winners in SOE Awards 2019 for my performance in the Rainbow Catering, and with a magazine dedicated to my journey as an entrepreneur. Alright, so some of the opportunities I have through the pandemic is that I think one of our hero, PM Lee, I got a chance to be invited to him. To Istana to talk to him among selected 5 entrepreneurs about the pivoting action during the pandemic. And of course, Sister Yo Wan Ling is one of my good friends as well. Also helped me in visiting our kitchen. And amongst this is under ACAPS, we have SMS Cheong Tat to grace our Chinese New Year event. Okay, so Kitchen Haus Group is made up of 9 brands, of which main business is in the left side, which is the catering division. So this is my parents' first company, Team Catering. I founded this first company. Then thereafter, these are the other companies that I founded. So all in all, we have 4 brands covering. This is the mass market catering, higher end catering, manufacturing plant. This is in the institutional catering where we did like a canteen operation. Alright, so this is the catering division. Retail division, I don't know if you have heard before that, but we took over the restaurant in Serene Center doing French food, but it was the wrong timing, so we folded. So I'd like to share as much as we have some success in other businesses, we have our failures as well. So, but we still keep the branding. Gourmet Express is a ready-to-eat brand. We started with ESG last year. Sugar Bakes, I think my founder is there. Can you raise your hand? This is Mr. Delvin Tan. He's our director for Sugar Bakes. And Levin's is one of our cafe doing in one of our institutions. And last but not least, this is the urban farming division. We partner with an urban farming partner to launch this brand called Fruits. So I graduated in NTU in 2004. Alright, so I joined, the time was in HNS. HNS was Hitachi Semiconductor. I was an engineer because I graduated in mechanical engineering in 2004. So I worked there for close to 7 years. I left the company in 2011, taking a leap of faith to join my parents' company. So I joined Team Catering is 1st August 2001. So this year will be my 10th year. So I'm very proud to say that I've lasted this long. Yeah. So I was a principal engineer when I left the company. So this was my first ever name card. Right, so I still keep the picture there. Okay, so these are some of the things that I've taught when I was at the crossroads. So when you graduated, right, you want to join a company of your choice. Like probably you're studying mechanical, so logically you go to an engineering company. That was the thing I did. Because the pay was quite decent. And I think when I first joined, the skills that I've learned, or the knowledge I learned, it translated to the job, and it's easier to go ahead. It's really like a mainstream thing you will do. Alright, I think everybody will take this path. So when I was at the 7th year, which is 2011, I was at the crossroad, which is the career crossroad where you don't want to continue or you want to do something else. So what happened is that I thought to myself, did I waste my time learning, doing 7 years, then join the company? I could have just don't study, don't go to uni, just go, you know. But I thought that the foundations was very important for me. So when I did mistakes, right, you'll get screamed at. And sometimes when you do a presentation, it's really wrong. Because it's a commercial thing, you cannot do mistakes. So you get a lot of pressure from colleagues as well. So all this, the 7 years I thought was very important. So I think that it was very precious. And I think the 7 years really helped to mold my character, and also the grit and also the tenacity that primes me for the next 10 years. So that was one of the foundation. So for students to advise that to start a business right away also not wrong, but I had my foundation, I had to make use of it. And I think that the next thing is that after 7 years in the industry, I found there's a need to change to a more challenging career. I think being an engineer was a bit boring after 7 years, to be frank. Because you meet the same people, you're in the same room, you're in the same office table, you report to the same people, right? Yeah, over the 7 years, I only had a chance to go to Japan once. So that's it. I don't go overseas. It's quite boring career to continue. So I thought I need to have a career to define my legacy and to make a lasting impact. Of course, this is something when I first started, I didn't think too much. I just follow my gut feel. But looking back, really, there's a chance for me to define my legacy. What you want to do with your life? You can be a very good engineer, or you want to do something that you can try, right? So that's what I did. So where your dreams are really bounded by your aspirations, and I think the sky's the limit. So it means to say whatever you want to achieve, right, you can do it as long as you have the aspiration to do it. And of course, there will be naysayers. Naysayers means you got friends, you got your family members, your wife said, hey, you have a cushy job. I mean, I'm not really paid very high, you know, but I think it's comfortable enough to own a car, have a house, you know, start a family. Next thing is prepare to hustle. I have to talk to my wife on this because I can come back home. I don't think I can switch off, right, when you're at your engineer job. But when you're at your entrepreneur, you can't. You go back, you still customer will call you, staff will call you, say tomorrow cannot come. Yeah, so what happened? Yeah, so you must be prepared to hustle. Essentially, I think I also have a lot of support from my family, especially my wife and my spouse, to go through this path. He just said, just try, you know, with my support. So I was very fortunate. And I think I was at a stage where I can still prepare to fail. If things go wrong in the next 5 years, I can still steer the boat back and go back to my engineering field. Yeah, so I thought it was a nice time that I can try first. And for me, money is not the main motivating factor. As I mentioned to you, I got a pay cut. And of course, I also think I went to a company that is not profitable. Yeah, so it is not my main motivating factor. One of them is to continue the family legacy. I think to have an eldest son. So to continue is like something that is inside my mind for very long. I have no experience in F&B, zero business management, little man management experience, did not know how to interpret the financial statement. When a accountant first give me the financial statement, I don't know what he's talking about. I just see whether got win or lose. All the interpretation I really don't know. So I also don't know anyone from food industry except my parents. Yeah, so I also have no strategic or marketing plans for it. Yeah, but what I have at the time was my youth and energy. Yeah, I can run 7 days work week, 10, 12 hours a day. That's what I did for the first a lot of years. And I have 7 years of corporate experience. Being an engineer, I also think we are trained to think very, very analytical, and we can interpret very critical parameters, which trained myself to this job because it's very important to do all this. And also we are very systematic since I'm from an engineering background. And I think from the 7 years, I built a bit of organization capabilities, which prime me for the job. So this is the snapshot when I do this. I hope you guys can understand. I don't know why this went down, but it's 2011 all the way to 2021. So this is the last 10 years what I did. From the first, you see all these are the brands that we did. For this team, this is the Rainbow, the Beans, the Essence, all this. So I'll break down my career into 4 phases. The first of which is the first 5 years, which is called the formative years, where we only have one equilibrium, and we're trying to make ends meet and trying to improve the company. Second of which is the breakthrough. I don't know why there's something cut off. Yeah, this is breakthrough, where the Rainbow Catering was formed in 2016, and failure. What Ian said, I need to share my part of failure. I think with everything you go through up and down. So my failure, and the most important one is my pivoting action in 2000 and 2001. That's the most important. When you see the graph, right, it's not a revenue graph, right? It's just a number of brands I have. Doesn't mean I'm profitable. But then again, you can see how ambitious we are from a singular brand, and So in short, all this means a lot of patience. You cannot start from here, without any foundation. Build my foundation first, then slowly move up. Then at a critical time, grab the market and go. This is the failure part. I think for catering side, I think the worst thing I can imagine is that we got into food poisoning. It was in the news for the wrong reason. I hope my face was not there, but it was really a time where we got 2 cases in 2 years, and you hit the same brand, fortunately, team. So the reputation was tarnished overnight and lost 90%. You remember we went to B2B, right? B2B is all contract. So when they got news of food poisoning, what happened? You call me, Patrick, what happened? I got the whole night of calls. What happened? All had to cancel contract, suspend my contract, and I dropped 90% overnight. So that was the first failure I had. And when I picked up something, I got another food poisoning again in 2019. So I got 2 in 2 years. Not something to be proud of, but when you reflect back, it's actually something of a hindsight that it made me want to shift my focus away. Our focus away. So remember last time the Rainbow wasn't doing well, right? This is the time for the Rainbow to shine. Because you have a spare brand there, not doing well, but your main brother got problem. So what happened? I rallied my team, right? So I told them to switch focus overnight. All the marketing go there, my staff all deploy there. Yeah. So because of this, my Rainbow sales grew exponentially, and it's born out of failure. So it's something that I learned. With all failures, it comes with a lot of opportunities. And luckily, I did the move. If 2 years ago I didn't do the brand, I would be stuck with one brand, and probably you wouldn't see me here. I'm very proud to say that even during our worst case, we managed to increase our revenue every year. Till now. I think this year will drop. Yeah, but thank you. Okay, so next, please. Yeah, so this is the last one, which is the most important, which I like to highlight to all students here, is that the pivoting action for 2000 last year and this year, and this is where I got a lot of publicity from. This is where we started so many new brands. Like Kitchen Haus Group is a group name that we started in 2021 to house all the brands. In the meantime, we started Sugar Base with my partner Delwin, and Fruit Serve as an urban farming partner. Alright. Okay, then of course Gourmet Express we started in 2020 to do ready to eat. So in the pivoting period, we pivoted to 3 actions. So this Food Serve, Sugar Bakes, and ready to eat. So understanding the crux of the problem for catering, especially we try for big scale events. These are the plans. I will not go through all. I just want to have a snapshot of what's happening at the time when the pandemic struck. What happened? you really struck like a sledgehammer. Just got, you know, in March 2020, you just go into sudden pandemic mode and nobody can get, especially F&B players. So what happens is that these are all the things that we thrive on, and for COVID, these are the things that are the direct opposite of what we thrive on, like large-scale events, overseas MICE event, high ordering price, self-serve buffet setup, large mix of local and foreign manpower, and Singapore food culture and gathering. All these are actually, it just changed the whole situation around. This is my revenue graph. I did not change anything, but I just never let you see the numbers. So this is my real graph, compared to the hypothetical one. We actually got a very big chunk of orders here. Fortunate, unfortunate, this was during the dormitory outbreak, where the halal caterers were activated to cater for the mass community. So we are serving like every day 6,000 packs for breakfast, lunch, dinner for a sustained period of 8 months. So I would say that why we are able to capture this, because we had our multi-brand strategy. We have 3 kitchens, including the Lavender Domain, which is a manufacturing plant, enable us to capture this market. So we had our best ever month. These are new records. And when the dormitory is over, right, we are stuck at, this is the year-on-year figure. It's not very good over here. Like for example, in September we have 24% drop compared to last year. But you see the DOS data, Department of Statistics, catering side dropped 60 to 80%. But our company dropped 34%. We are market leader. Yeah, so it doesn't mean you don't profit by drop, but it's still market leader. So what means this way is that we are already prepared. And from the funds we have here, we are able to continue our multi-brand. This is in Bendigo Farm. It's a partner with Metro Farm. So they have the IP. No make sense for us to import the IP coming here. You just cannot grow. It's like when I do AliExpress, I just cannot grow, even though you follow instruction. So these guys have the IP. They know how to grow plants. They know how to rear fish. So our vision of farm to table, which I always tell them that they are the farm at the table, or you say farm to fork, farm to table, it's the same concept. So it joins both organizations together to fully leverage on each other's strength. So that's where we found. Okay, so if you realize that it's a very interesting thing, this is a rooftop location, same place as just now, but on the other side. This is a fish farm. We have 6 tanks of, I think, a few thousand fishes inside. So these are freshwater fishes, so the technology is called aquaponics, which is a combination of aquaculture, and which is raising fish, and hydroponics, which is soilless growing of plants. They grow the fish and plants together in one integrated system. So means the poop, the fish poop will be break down by beneficial bacteria and recirculated to the plants and being sprayed upon, and the plants absorb the nutrient, cleanse the water, and flow back to the thing in the nutshell. So that's quite interesting technology. Yeah. So it's a natural recirculation system. So these are some of the, I'll go a bit fast, I think I overrun a bit. Some of the revenue stream that we can do, potentially can do. I share everything, I didn't hide. So these are things I can do. Farm to table concept, we can do restaurant, kiosk, vending machine. Cakes, I think we are developing a kale cake for Christmas from our farm. Yeah, and catering as well, we can do salad bowls for catering. And for vegetable, the fish and the vegetable harvest, right, we can do B2B and B2C. And there's a lot of ancillary products that we can do. One of which is we are doing farm tours, official farm tours that is NTUC want us to do in NTUC Downtown East. We are selling our seed packs now, some merchandise next time like T-shirt. We're also selling our germination kit. And of course, we are doing a small little aquaponics kit that we can buy. 3 things I'd like to share. First thing is don't daydream. Well, a lot of businesses still daydream because they think I can still wait for government grant. So they just hang along, give government grant. But you will not be able to net normal. It could be the new norm. And next thing is survival of fittest. And the next one is you need to pivot or you will fail. One is to meet more, to eat more, to talk more. Self-explanatory. Second is to be genuine, to be frank, and be receptive. Means to say that when you out to talk, right, be receptive for people who tell you something that you don't like to hear. And your food sucks. Your vegetable cannot make it. This sort of thing. So it's something for you to reflect. And share openly, because your secret ideas are just a click away. Like how Ian made the secret brand so successful. It's just a very simple chair, right? But it's the human behind it, the brand behind it, the concept behind it, and the company behind it that make the brand successful. And if you think your ideas are the next radical thing, right, you just have to go google.com and you just search. Everything is there. So there's nothing secret in the world, especially in this very connected world. And next thing is to get a mentor if you wanted to try a business. I have the opportunity to have very good mentors, Mr. Vincent Park, CEO of Tonglong Group, and Mr. Anthony Wong, founder and CEO of Creative Eateries Group. They are very big names, but very humble people who like to share with me, and I've had many conversations with them. Your question is, if you use your farming products in your catering, does it reduce your cost? Actually, it does. If you reach a certain scale, you will reduce your cost. But at the onset, when you first started off with, when you supply them, you wouldn't really do a lot of cost savings. Because for example, if you buy vegetables from overseas, right, like probably 1 kilo, $2 from overseas, import in bulk. Yeah. Now because my farm has not reached the kind of scale that we want, we're still building. So we only can produce very little, and as such, use a lot of manpower to do it. So per kilo, it won't be so good. So at the start, it won't be. But the benefit is that the farm business can have revenue instantly. That's also very important because you supported the farm by giving me business. The whole company doesn't hinge on myself. I think there's a big team behind me that is not. I think one of the slides I want to share, I don't know if we can go to the slide, is that I think one or two more. Down, one. First, just go down one more. This one. Am I alone? I'm not. Because I have this behind my back. My family, my selfless parents, and my trusted business partners. So this is the critical thing. But of course, the next slide also will be down. My key lieutenants, not all here, and all my colleagues. I don't think it's fair just to make myself feel good and say it's all I've done. No, it's actually the whole team. Because if the team doesn't heed my advice when I steer the boat, right, the whole thing will also collapse. So I say it's a very good team effort. And of course, for my guys, my lieutenants, my employees, all willing to trust me.
Great.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So I think diversification is the key for today's market. I think to have businesses to be able to very fast, diverse, covering most sectors is very important. So you're right, it's very important. My take on this is that you can't have just one singular brand. You can have one, but it's not very flexible. This is a very valid question. As you expand, you have to understand all new companies come with a lot of logistical challenge. Like for example, you see my bag, there's a bag you open up all. I got 7 dongles, bank dongles. So it's just like to let you know, every company needs a bank account. So it's how configured. Suddenly you get confused which account is for which. So it's actually quite challenging to have. But then again, the benefits outweigh the logistical challenge. Yeah. Link up with Edison through LinkedIn. It's a very powerful platform. I think we spoke then and we got the thing going. For myself, I think one of the slides I want to show also at the back, last one, is that a lot of ways to give back to society, right? The easiest part is to donate. Whether you donate $10, $1,000, $1 million, it's still a donation after. So that's very easy to do. But our company's direction is to give back to society by inculcating the next generation. We want to inspire the new generation of entrepreneurs to pursue their dreams, to build new businesses, to provide a very fair and inclusive employment, and after which, to contribute back to the society in a similar way that we started. So that's our version of contributing back. So if you want to ask me whether have you considered that, we have, but we are not doing in commercial terms. We want to give back in terms of sharing. So if you're going to do different brands, we'll be doing along the side of our farm to table concept, sustainability program. That's one of them. And what do you see in your company for the next 2 years? I don't have a crystal ball, but I can say that we will continue to grow more businesses. We might stabilize for a while, build the brands before we grow. And I see ourselves rather, in the next 2 years, we want to venture overseas. But knowing that the technology will forever change businesses is important. So that's why we are adopted digitalization. We're doing a company-wide ERP software to bind all our businesses together. That's one of the first concepts. Second, we are going to change our catering model, not just to deliver, because we're under siege by delivery platforms who can offer authentic food and minute timing. So like you want to order now, you can order later. Caterings are very bulky, right? You have to order today for next week for big orders. So we want to slowly change to adopt and also to be able to compete with other partners that have already adopted technology. Yeah, so that's very important.